Hi, I'm Elisa Smith, the Chair of the Legal Studies Department. Welcome to Chatting with the Chair. Our guest today is Dr. Jim Beckman, who is a member of the Legal Studies Department. He's an old friend of mine. I'm going to have him introduce himself to you so you can learn a little bit about him.
Hello, I'm Professor Jim Beckman, as Dr. Smith indicated. Perhaps this episode should be called Chatting with Two Chairs, because I was the inaugural chair of the Department of Legal Studies from 2011 through 2016, and Dr. Smith replaced me in that position, so she's been our chair for about a year and a half now, so two chairs for the price of one. So I've been here at UCF for 6 years and enjoyed every moment of it. Right now I'm back full-time in the faculty and teaching full-time and writing and researching, and before that I spent 11 years at the University of Tampa. So about 17, 18 years full-time in academia. I met Dr. Smith probably 15 years or so ago, very early on in both of our careers at the University of Tampa. And before I entered into academia in the 1990s, I practiced law for the Army. I was an active duty judge advocate and also an attorney for the Treasury Department in Washington, D.C.
Great. And we're here today to talk about a really wonderful idea that Professor Beckman has for our students in the Legal Studies Department. It's an undergraduate law journal. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So this is fascinating and very exciting, as you know. And I have to provide the viewer a little context on this, just so they understand the magnitude of this exciting new endeavor that we're doing in legal studies. In 2007, the Journal of Legal Studies and Education reported on the top 400 universities in the country that have undergraduate law programs. And of the 400, this article, written by a Missouri State University law professor, listed the University of Central Florida's legal studies program as the most comprehensive legal studies program in the country. That's when we were half the size that we are now in terms of faculty. That's when we were half the size in terms of courses that we now offer in legal studies. And that was 10 years ago. Fast forward to 2012, we had a program review, as you know, State of Florida program review, and we had two external consultants come in from outside the state of Florida, and they looked at our program and they specified in their final report that we have a program that is a national model for other universities to emulate. So that begs the question, why? What's special about our program? Well, of course, we have a bevy of courses that one would find at the law school level, pretty much any course one would have at the law school level, whether it's contracts, property, criminal law, civil procedure, and specialized courses like aviation law, military law, and national security.
Environmental law.
Yeah, I think close to 50 courses now, which makes us quite unique nationwide. Probably the most number of courses nationwide of any undergraduate program. We've also, of course, developed moot court within the last 6 years and now have a nationally competitive moot court program.
Mm-hmm.
And
ranked within the nation.
Ranked within the nation, several years running now.
Yes.
And for years we've had an award-winning mock trial program. So those are all things that make our program special. However, one can always improve, and in reflecting on what might we still be missing and what piece might make our program stronger, the idea of a law journal came to mind. Mm-hmm. And for the viewers that might not be familiar with the concept of a law journal or law review, for those going on to law school, one of the most competitive and certainly prestigious things you can do as a law student is be selected to work on a law review, on the editorial board, selecting and reviewing and editing the works of other scholars and putting together a journal that's produced annually of scholarly articles pertaining to the law. And I just brought an example of one such law review. And we're hoping that at the end of the spring semester of 2018, our inaugural year, at the end, we'll have produced our inaugural issue, the UCF Legal Studies Law Journal.
And so, Jim, what are some of the benefits for students for participating and even our program having a law journal, an undergraduate law journal?
Well, there are multiple benefits. Certainly in terms of one's credentials, if a student were going to go on to apply to law school or graduate school, it's an experience that few of your other colleagues will have nationwide that you're competing against in terms of admission to law school. So that's certainly one benefit. A second benefit, beyond the competitiveness in terms of getting into law school, is if you are selected to participate in law review once you enter into law school, you already have all the training and experience on how to go into that experience and how to do well. As you know, and the viewers may or may not know, students in law school are selected either based upon their first year grades or based upon a write-on competition. And so not everyone is selected for that opportunity, but to the extent we have a student here who participates in our program here and goes on to law school, it certainly gives them that competitive advantage in terms of doing the work at the law school level.
Now, will this be a real journal? Will people be able to find this journal just like they do every other journal?
Absolutely. We will have an electronic online version available that will be found at our website. And then we're also, we are also producing physical hard copies that individuals that author articles that are published in the journal, they'll get a complimentary copy of the journal that they can provide to their parents. It's certainly if someone on the journal or an outside student wrote an article that was published, they would have a physical copy of the article to provide for future employers or to law school admissions committees, et cetera. So the vehicle in which to start this undergraduate journal gave it some thought, and based upon talking to several individuals, we thought the best idea would be to run it as a class. And so we have a class this spring, and I'm mentioning this because there are still seats available for this class. And if you're interested in this idea of working on a law journal as an undergraduate, again, that can benefit you substantially in terms of your competitiveness for law school and give you very essential skills and experiences while in law school, please contact me. You can reach me by email at jamesbeckman@ucf.edu. Send me an email and indicate that you're interested in the class, and then I'll set up a time where we can meet, and we still have some seats available. We're capping it at a low number, so the earlier you contact me, the better, but I would encourage students to contact me. That's one way that students can become involved in this journal, is beyond the editorial board, which allows them to edit the works of others, and then also potentially select what articles we publish if we get a substantial number of submissions. And then the individuals on the editorial board can also write articles for potential publication in the journal themselves. For students that aren't able to take the class, and I'll mention what the class is again, it's under the title of Comparative Legal Issues, but you'll have to contact me for instructor approval to enroll in the class. For those students who aren't able to sign up for the class, either because you're graduating in December or you've got other classes you need to take to satisfy a requirement before graduation, I would highly recommend that you consider submitting an article for publication. It can be a paper that you wrote through one of your legal studies classes, or political science class, or a history class. Any class if your paper deals with a law-related topic. So if you think you wrote a good paper in one of your classes here at UCF, or you did a honors in the major thesis, and now certainly we couldn't publish the entire thesis, but a truncated, abbreviated version of your thesis, I think that would be excellent material that has potential for selection to be published in the journal. So if you can't take the class and be part of the editorial board, certainly it would be great if you can consider submitting an article. And you could do that the same way by just sending me an electronic copy of the article, even later on this semester. And just send it to me as an attachment. And when the class commences in the spring, one of the first things we're going to do, after we talk about how law reviews run and we talk about the editorial process and how we go through various revisions to an article, the students will get to select what articles to pick for publication and what not to publish.
Yeah, great. It sounds like a great experience. It's something that we're going to offer every spring. Professor Beckman is a wonderful advisor to this, so if you have any questions, please reach out to him or reach out to us in the Legal Studies Department. You can always reach me. I'm the chair of the Legal Studies Department. I'd be happy to answer all of your questions. Thank you.